What do you remember from your last RPG? If you're anything like me, what sticks in your mind are the incredible characters you met along the way. In any good RPG, the people your crew meet will make the story real, raise the stakes, and create the moments your group will remember for a lifetime. So it goes without saying that Knights of Payne Town, the City of Mist TTRPG story arc book featuring 10 different cases, is chock full of unforgettable people. As a player, I love meeting them. As an MC, I love playing them. Today, I'm putting my 5 favorite characters from Knights of Payne Town in the spotlight. This list is in no particular order, and I'll do my best to keep spoilers to a minimum. This is a mystery game after all, but if you'd like to take a peek at some of the characters walking the streets of Payne Town, then today you're in luck. Our first spotlight goes to a pair of characters, because for this duo, they're always watching each other's back. Officers Das and Quinn are 2 good cops in a city of bad cops. Everything that happens downtown happens under their jurisdiction, meaning they're likely to get involved whether the crew wants them to or not. For a crew solely interested in seeking justice, Das and Quinn can make great allies. Both officers are trained in detective work and can assist your crew in finding clues on a case. They can also hold their own in a fight. Being the rift of a Grama Devata guardian spirit, Officer Das can create magical shields and banish darkness. Meanwhile, Officer Quinn has no powers, because as much as he says he'd like to see through his partner's eyes, he's fully content with staying in blissful ignorance. This makes Officer Quinn one of the only sleepers in the city who actively chooses to be a sleeper, a concept I find as interesting as it is hilarious. Your mileage may vary with this duo if any member of your crew has connections to the criminal underworld. As helpful as they can be on a case, Officers Das and Quinn are still cops, and they'll still arrest you if they catch you with contraband or drugs. Speaking of drugs, my next favorite character is one of the most prolific drug dealers in City of Mist. Hey, I didn't say this was a list of role models. Foxy Supreme is a powerful force, equal parts tempting and terrifying. She has her hands in not only the standard drugs, but also in some of the mythical substances that can only exist in the City of Mist. Her latest offering is a drug called Candy, which is said to grant your deepest wishes. Because of her mythos, virtually no one in the city can apprehend her, and the few who can turn to stone if they try. Because of her power and intense confidence, Foxy is a character that dominates whatever room she's in. You'd have to be with a name like Foxy Supreme. But what's more interesting than how dangerous she can be is how convincing she can be. Foxy's been in the game for a long time, so she has a natural talent for sussing out what people want most and offering it to them. For a price. Expect to make some hard choices if your crew ever arranges a meeting with her. But you know what's cooler than crime? Crime fighting. There are a few dedicated crime fighters within the city, including the Gargoyle and Aguila de Plata, but only one patrols the moonlit streets of Chinatown. Wraith is a vigilante that fights evil with the power of celestial moonlight. At first glance, she looks like a normal young woman wearing a hoodie, sneakers, and other sportswear. But most people never get a first glance, as Wraith prefers to parkour through the city shadows and fly in its moonlight. Before criminals can catch a glimpse of the shadow overhead, she's already knocking them out with expert martial arts. Wraith is one of my favorites, can't you tell? Not only because of her cool powers, but also because I love when people go full superhero in City of Mist. Now don't get me wrong, I love characters like Lily Chow or Job who are people trying to do good as themselves. But if you already have the ability to fly and shoot moonbeams out of your hands, why not start going by a cool superhero name while you're at it? Wraith also exists in that same space as Officers Das and Quinn, in that she can be either a great help or a tough adversary depending on the crew. But if you convince her to join your team, she can even become a permanent ally that helps your crew in other cases. Now our last character in the spotlight is someone you may not have heard of, but you've most likely seen before. After all, he appears in Knights of Payne Town, The Player's Guide, and Shadows and Showdowns. Yet, for spoiler reasons, I can only refer to this next character by his legendary mythos, King Arthur. Clad in coat and crown, King Arthur is one of the toughest kingpins in the city. King Arthur is an imposing figure for a lot of reasons. His legendary mythos gives him quite a few powers, including the ability to create swords of light, and his presence can be even more intimidating than Foxy Supreme's. For an in-game reference, those who see King Arthur for the first time take a respectful 3 status just from looking at him. But what makes King Arthur truly interesting is the sense of what he's trying to build. Arthur is a man on a mission that involves widespread community change. Once your crew becomes aware of him, there's a sense you have to decide quickly whether you're with him or against him. Because if you're with him, you could help him change the city forever. But if you're against him, well, good luck! The characters in Knights of Payne Town are what make the story arc book truly memorable to me. There are so many other interesting characters within its pages, from magical cultists to undead detectives to mutant carnies, but going over them all would spoil the mystery. If you want to learn more about these characters, check out Knights of Payne Town on the City of Mist website at cityofmist.co. If you're more interested in being a memorable character, you can also pick up the Character Folio Pack, which includes 14 pre-generated City of Mist characters for you to pick up and play. Who's your favorite City of Mist NPC? Let us know in the comments, on social media, or on the City of Mist Discord. Until then, have fun!